and welcome. I am DEJI360. The debate over the creation of state police in Nigeria has been like a lifetime one and has actually outlived several administrations in this country. Well, it appears we may be nearing the end of the debate. For the very first time, both federal and state governments have now announced that they are open to the idea. The disclosure was made after a very crucial emergency meeting now between President Bola Tinubu and governors of the 36 states of the country in Abuja on Thursday, February the 15th. The meeting was called to discuss and find lasting solutions to several issues affecting the nation, including the current cost of living crisis and pockets of insecurity across the country. Now take a listen to what the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, had to say specifically on the issue of state policing shortly after that meeting.
Mr. President and the state governors have also discussed the possibility of improving the numeric strength of forest rangers to train them so that they can keep our forest and our borders very safe. Now, there is also a discussion around the issue of state police. The federal government and the state governments are mulling the possibility of setting up state police. Of course, this is still going to be further discussed. A lot of work has to be done in that direction, but both the federal government and the state governments are agreeing to the necessity of having state police. Now, this is a significant shift, but like I said, more work needs to be done in that direction. A lot of meetings will have to happen between the federal government and the subnationals to see the modalities of achieving this.
Well, this is certainly a radical departure from the past when the federal government stubbornly kicked against the idea of state policing and would not even contemplate it. Nigeria has a serious shortage of manpower when it comes to policing. Last year, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, said the force was well below the United Nations recommended ratio of one police officer to about 450 citizens, adding that at least 190,000 more officers were needed to secure the country adequately. But then the critical question is, will state policing help the country deal with its current security challenges? Joining me to help answer that question now is former Director of the Department of State Services, Mr. Dennis Amakri. Mr. Amakri, thank you very much for joining us as usual. We've had long talks on this program now on the issue of state policing. And for the very first time, the federal government and the state governments are agreeing, seeing reasons why Nigeria needs state police. How significant is this for you?
Very, very significant. DEJI is finally we are coming to the end of the tunnel, because you know we've been talking about state police for years, and it looks like everybody, any federal government that is in power, decide to kick against it because they see the police as their own watchdog, or should I say, the power they have is physically manifested in the police. So they don't want to share that power. But I think circumstances, have come to push both the state and the federal government to start thinking or, succumbing to that idea that we actually need state police. Not only state police, in fact, balkanizing the federal police to get state police, local government sheriffs, and even other policing systems in the country.
Now, agreeing is one thing. Getting it done is another, because this would obviously require some kind of constitution amendment, and we know the process this takes. So you, from where you are at the moment, how difficult a road do you think, or how long do you think, how long a road do you think we are going to travel from this point now to the point where we will physically see state police officials on our streets?
Well, the thing is that we are not going to reinvent the wheel. You know, the state police, their responsibility, their duties and responsibilities are lined out. Even, you know, we copied our constitution from that of the United States. And then, of course, the United States is a very good example where you have state police. The United Kingdom have state police, but I take the model of the United States, where you have the federal police, the state police, and the local government sheriffs. Now, the difference in these is the responsibilities and the duties that they perform. You know, and that should not take us so long a time, because if we look at it about, you know, readjusting the Constitution to allow for the creation of more police agencies, is, you know, that should not take time. We have seen the National Assembly go on to emergencies, and they've propounded or promulgated laws, you know, in a week. So changing that very clause that there will be only one Nigeria police, changing that clause, you know, to allow for state police and other policing systems is all what we need. You know, here in the United States, you have up to about 18,000 police agencies, 18,000. You know, so we cannot, and that is designed structurally to take care of certain things. So we cannot just keep on staying with this one, and it shouldn't take us time to do it.
Now, there are 36 states in this country, and all these states are not equal when it comes to resources. I'm just wondering,
Yes.
do you think all the states of this country would have the capacity, financial capacity now to go in and set up their own police force?
Okay, please allow me to continue using the model of the United States.
Yes.
You know, and here you find out that state police, they have state police, but the state police did not start in all the states.
Okay.
In fact, there are states that don't have police, like Hawaii. You don't have a state police till today. You know, so there are situations where police organizations are created by different structures, and it could be structured by, you know, the rules, different rules that they carry out, because if, for instance, there should be federal crimes and state crimes. And that's why we're saying that, you know, it is not creating state police for governors, because I know the governors are in the forefront now, because they feel that, oh, as chief security officer of my state, I need my police. We want our own police, you know, and then you are going to get your police and then use them against your political opponents. No, that is, now that we are thinking about it, that is a very strong point for us to be careful about. These state police are not designed for the governor of any state. They are designed by the laws they are going to enforce, you know, not by just being there as police. There are certain laws. Even the local government police, if you have a local government police like sheriffs, they cannot investigate or enforce, what do you call it now? Murder situations, you know? And if you have a kidnap situation or a hijack, that is federal law, and federal police will take care of it. So we are going to segment it where you have the federal police, and when we talk about federal police, we are talking about things like this DSS. We are talking about, because they will be thinking of national security. when you talk about drug enforcement, that's a federal law, and that's like NDLA. We already have those things. You understand? And then when you talk about murder is a state law. Somebody killing somebody, and this is designed for the state police, and the state police will investigate, prosecute that kind of law. Local governments will not. A local government sheriff does not go. He thinks of traffic laws, parking laws, all kinds of local things that affect local governments. Like fishing license and stuff like that. So a university policeman, for instance, does not go and start investigating drug law. If somebody is smoking illegal drugs in the university, as a university police, he will call on the federal police to come and take over that job. That job. So these are the boundaries that we have to look at.
Now, another critical question is, do you think state policing would make a difference in the current security challenges we're dealing with? And how?
Definitely. Because you see, crime is committed at a local area. Every crime is committed in a local area. Right now, one of the major problems we have in Nigeria, for instance, is what we call the ungoverned spaces. These ungoverned spaces are in a local government, and those local governments are unpoliced. That's why we have criminals habitating inside those ungoverned spaces. I hear that they are talking about forest guards. Yes. Now, forest guards are people that are supposed to prevent people from illegal hunting of animals or, illegal lumbering, cutting down trees and stuff like that. Those what forest guards are supposed to be. But we are not trying to create forest guards so that they will go and fight bandits or terrorists who are habitating inside the forests. We have to be very clear about this. And then when we create forest guards, they can do their own jobs. But at the same time, crime is committed in a locality. So when you create state police, you are bringing law enforcement closer to where the crime is being committed.
But let me ask you this. Sorry to interject. Sorry to interject. But how is this different from such paramilitary organization like Amotekun that you have in the Southwest? And even with that organization itself, you still continue to have security challenges. So some people have argued, look, that you look at Amotekun, you look at some other paramilitary organizations that have been set up by some of these governors, that they've not made any much significant difference. So what will be different with state police?
Amotekun is not a state police. Amotekuns are vigilantes. They are vigilantes, and vigilantes can be created anywhere, even in an estate. Like VGC, for instance, you can create in Lagos. VGC can get their own vigilante who are going around, seeing that nobody try to threaten the lives and property of that area. We are not talking of vigilante. We are talking of a police force. A police force is not vigilante. It's not a ragtag putting together some hunters who are going to walk around the bush. And, the police force is a structured organization. Structured organization trained in very different skills. They will have shooting skills. They will have prosecutionary skills, because if they arrest somebody, they should be able to prosecute the person. Yeah. They have detecting skills. they should be able to detect a crime, and they have emergency response skills, So you have all these, they should be able to protect private property and even protect public officials. Certain public officials can be protected. So you find out that it is not, and they should have also, a state police should have a detention center. So it is a structured system, not a Motekun that goes around and if they suspect you and without even thinking of human rights, if they suspect that you are a Fulani cattle guy and you are moving around the area that something has just happened, they just arrest you, they beat the hell out of you, without thinking of the human rights of that person. So they are not trained. They are not trained. And the difference between them and the state police is the structure and the training that, they have.
I see. I see. And it won't be out of place for some state governors to probably convert some of their, these vigilantes, as you describe them now, to state police. Would that be out of place?
No, it will not be out of place. If we already have vigilantes, for instance, in your state or in some of the western states where they have Amotekun, Amotekun can be now brought into the state police and trained, because that is the major difference between them and the vigilante groups. They have to be trained. They have to be trained on the law of detecting, how to detect a crime, how to gather evidence, the law of evidence. The lawyers will tell you there are laws, because if you don't gather evidence properly, you cannot prosecute. You take it to court, and one smart lawyer will just throw everything out of the court. So you have to train them in, it's a structured thing. So if you are going to get people in Amotekun, number one, they should have the requisite education to learn, to know what law is, not an illiterate hunter, who has been roaming around the bush. Bring him out. And we are not short of unemployed graduates, in any state, who can be taken, trained properly in the skill of policing, and then let them go out and do the job.
Let me ask you this final question, and that has always been the biggest concern when discussions about state police actually comes up, and that's the issue of abuse, preventing governors from abusing this state police, because obviously they're going to be the chief executive of these state police. You would expect that the state policing authority now would report to them. How do you prevent this abuse, especially when it comes to politics?
Oh, yes. That's a major issue. That's a major issue. And that one is one that we should be very, very careful with. The laws that are going to put on this state police, that will establish the state police, are going to be designed in such a way that the governor is just an overseer, or should I say a facilitator. When they need money, or, there are allocations that they can make to them, but it's not going to control them. Here in the United States,
somebody has to control anyway.
Huh?
Somebody still has to control them.
Yes, somebody has to control them. Yeah, I agree. But the state assembly is there. And that's why we're saying that they should be controlled by law, not by person, by law. Because here, they even run for election. A sheriff who wants to be a sheriff of a local government, of a council, will run for election. People will vote for him. And they say, oh, we know this guy. We know his track record as a police officer, so he wants to be a policeman, a sheriff, they vote for him. The state police, we know that the control, the command and control is the testy area whereby you find some of them, governors are waiting seriously, anxiously. We are going to get our own police. But the law will be such that it will, spell out all the things that a police officer is supposed to do. If he does not, if he goes beyond that, then he's doing an illegal job. If he goes against the police officer, that's why we're saying that, you see, the state policeman have to be educated in law, in some fundamental law principles, so that if the politician is trying to overstep his bounds by trying to overuse him or abuse him, he should say, "Oh, I'm sorry, Your Excellency, but this is not to be done. It's against the law." Should be able to say that. And the law should protect him so that he does not start going to say, "Oh, we'll fire this guy. He's not obeying me or he's not supporting me." So this is very, very critical. You have to design the law in such a way that it is not abused. And to one of the questions you asked me earlier, about are all states, can they handle it?
Yeah.
Not all states can handle state police. Like I told you, some states don't even have state police. You handle the state police as per your needs, the threats that you face. So some states will not have it. Like in Nigeria now, Lagos State is very, very overripe for it. There are some states, Kano, Rivers, even Ogun State. There are some states that can go ahead and, of course, fund them and let them go ahead, or even jointly funded by the federal, so that you find out that a state will not say that, "Oh, we want state police, but we cannot get them." But all states don't have state police, and they all don't start on the same day. So those who are able can start their own, train their people, and let them be continuing. In fact, I will suggest that there should be a pilot case. In Nigeria, they should go ahead and have a pilot, like in Lagos. Go ahead and have a pilot case for Lagos and see how it runs. And then other states can gradually, key into that.
Mr. Makri, thank you very much for coming on the program, and thank you for sharing your time with us as usual.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot. All right, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Stay with us, don't go away. Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal. How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On DEJI360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
DEJI360, dissecting the issues.